I was sitting in a rental car on Maui crying. My toddler was napping in his car seat in the air conditioning because that was the only way he'd sleep. And I was staring out at this incredibly beautiful day thinking, I am missing Hawaii. I had a tight itinerary, beaches and shops and restaurants I wanted to hit, and instead, I was trapped in a parking lot waiting for a 2-year-old to wake up. That was the trip that taught me the difference between planning a trip and over-planning a trip. Okay, so you're planning a Hawaii trip. You started out excited, and now you have approximately 47 browser tabs open, and you're somehow less sure of anything than when you started. Sound familiar? This is the episode for you. I've taken over 40 trips to Hawaii. I've been doing this long enough that I can tell pretty quickly when someone's in full planning spiral mode, and I see it constantly. People come to me who've been planning for months and haven't booked a single thing. Or they've booked a bunch of things and now they're second-guessing all of it. Either way, they're exhausted and they haven't even left home yet. Let me take you back to that Maui trip for a second. My oldest son was a toddler. He needed routine, and I was a new mom traveling solo with him for the first time. I didn't book any excursions, which honestly saved me. But I had this very specific list of things I wanted to do every day, and the reality is he napped in the car. A lot. So instead of being at beaches and exploring, I spent a huge chunk of that trip in parking lots with the AC running. Some of that was just new mom territory, I get it. But part of it was I couldn't step back and see the big picture. I was so locked into the plan that I couldn't adapt when the plan wasn't working. And here's the thing, I actually had a version of this problem even before I became a Hawaii expert. In my 20s, my best friend and I went to Oahu to visit her family. They lent us a car for the day and we just drove. We didn't know where to stop, we didn't have a plan, and we spent most of the day in the car. We had a blast. Good music, good company, taking in the scenery. But looking back, we drove past so many beaches and gardens and scenic lookouts without stopping. We were having fun, but we didn't know what we were missing. No plan and too much plan can both leave you in the car. So, what actually causes a spiral? Mostly it's information overload, and social media is a huge part of it. You see someone's Instagram post about a waterfall hike, you add it to your list. A TikTok about a food truck with the best poke on the island, you add that. A sunrise spot, a sunset spot, a hidden gem restaurant. Pretty soon you have enough activities to fill a month, and you're only going for a week. I had a client recently who'd been doing this with food specifically. She'd been saving every stunning food photo that influencers had posted over the past few months, and by the time she came to me, she had a breakfast spreadsheet. A spreadsheet, with backup options. For breakfast. She was treating her vacation like a project that needed to be optimized, and she was so deep in the details, she couldn't see how stressed she was making herself. You don't need a breakfast spreadsheet. You need to stay somewhere with decent coffee nearby and then see how you feel each morning. You're on vacation. The other thing that creates overwhelm is optimizing for the wrong things entirely. I see people spend hours comparing parking fees between hotels, completely missing the fact that one hotel is right on the beach and the other is a 15-minute drive from anything interesting. Or they book dinner reservations for every single night before they figured out what they're doing during the day. And then they've reserved a table on the North Shore at 6 p.m. only to realize their plans that day have them on the opposite side of the island at 5 p.m. Now their whole day is a race to make a reservation they made 2 months ago for a restaurant they haven't even been to yet. Can I give you permission to do something? Skip things. I've been to Oahu well over a dozen times, and I only visited Hanauma Bay for the first time last February. It's on every must-do list. I just never prioritized it on mine. I finally went because I was getting so many DMs and emails asking me about that I figured I should see it for myself. It was worth the trip. I did a whole episode on it. But my point is, I went to Oahu over and over and never felt like I was missing out because I hadn't been. I've also never gone snorkeling with manta rays at night on the Big Island. It's incredibly famous. People rave about it. It's just not my thing. I don't love snorkeling, so I've skipped it every single time and had zero regrets. You are not going to run out of Hawaii. It's not going anywhere. Whatever you don't do this trip, you'll have a reason to come back. So, what are the decisions that actually matter? In my experience, it comes down to 3 things. Which island, what area of the island to stay in, and which activities actually need advance booking. If you're stuck on the island decision, go back and listen to episode 3. I break down the vibe and strengths of each island so you can figure out which one actually matches what you're looking for. It's not about which island is best, it's about which island is best for you. Once you pick your island, figure out the area before you start comparing hotels. The location question has to come first. Take the Big Island, for example. Almost everyone stays in Kona or Waikoloa, which makes total sense. Beautiful area, great resort options. But then they also want to spend a day at the volcano, which is about 2.5 hours away, and maybe check out the waterfalls or Waipio Valley, which is another 90 minutes in a different direction. Suddenly, they're looking at multiple days where they're spending 4 or 5 hours round trip just getting somewhere. That's a real trade-off, and it means some people should actually think about spending a few nights on the Hilo side of the island instead of doing all those drives from the Kona coast. It's a different experience, but it might be the right one for how you want to spend your time. Figure out the area, then compare hotels in that area. On activities, book things that require reservations or sell out. Luaus, boat tours, specific experiences that have limited capacity. Don't pre-book things you can do whenever. Going to the beach doesn't need a reservation. Just go. And please, please don't lock in dinner reservations for every single night before you know your daily plans. There are a handful of restaurants where you absolutely need a reservation. Mama's Fish House on Maui, a few others. But most nights you'll be fine deciding day of. If you plan all your dinners first and then build your days around them, you got it backwards. Now, if you're listening to this and you're not in full-on panic mode, just second-guessing whether your current plan actually makes sense, I offer itinerary reviews for $50. You send me what you've got, and I go through it and flag anything that looks off. Wrong location, too much driving, an activity that doesn't make sense for your group. It's a fast gut check from someone who's done this a lot. You can find that at the Hawaii Resources tab on hawaiitravelwithkids.com, along with all my other favorite trusted tools and resources. If you're deeper in it and want to actually talk through the decisions together, that's what consultations are for. We take everything swirling around in your head and work through it one decision at a time until you have something that makes sense. That client with the breakfast spreadsheet, we worked through her whole trip, and by the end she had a plan that she was actually excited about instead of stressed by. Consultations are $149 for 60 minutes and $199 for 90 minutes. You can book at hawaiitravelwithkids.com under Hawaii Travel Consultant. And if you need help with the actual flights and hotel bookings after we figured out your plan, I can connect you with my travel agent, Kim, at Stuffed Suitcase. Here's what I want to leave you with. Close the tabs. Seriously, just close them. Stop reading blog posts for a few days. Stop watching TikToks about Hawaii. Ask yourself one question. What do I actually want from this trip? Not what Instagram says you should want, not what the travel blog says you have to do. What do you want? Relax on a beach? Hike? Eat your way across an island? Do absolutely nothing? Start there and let that answer drive your decisions. Planning a Hawaii trip is supposed to be exciting. If it's making you miserable, something has gone sideways, and you don't have to figure it out alone. All right, that's it for today. If someone in your life is drowning in Hawaii planning right now, send this episode their way. I'll talk to you next week. Aloha.